All right, and we're live. We're just going to wait for some people to roll in. This is the first official live interview we've ever done. So, Brian, this is going to be a new one for me and for you as well.
Yeah.
I might as well just do the introduction, and anyone who wants to watch later, they can catch it because I know we're going to be showing this video probably over and over again. So, what's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Today I have Brian Kai with me, the founder and CEO of Fortuna. How's it going, Brian?
Yeah, everything's good. Hi, K-Dub.
Awesome, awesome. So while we're waiting for some people to kind of roll in right now, for everybody that's watching, this is a live stream interview. So just to kind of get everybody up to par of what's happening. So Brian, can I ask you a quick question? Where do you get the name the Panda? Where did that come from? Because I see people calling you that, Brian the Panda or something like that on Twitter.
Okay, because maybe I guess the answer would be I choose the panda icon as my icon in WeChat.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I didn't know the reason behind that. So, all
Yeah.
right, cool. So, for everyone else out there, do you want to just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself? Who you are, how you got into the space?
Sure, I can give a brief introduction about myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian, and my Chinese name is Liang Bing Cai, so you can call me Brian. That's fine. And I graduated from Yale University in 2011, majored in computer science. And after the graduation, I entered the financial industry instead of the IT industry. And I have worked at New York, London, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and I came back to Hangzhou because of my wife. She is a native in Hangzhou. So currently I work at Singapore and Hangzhou. And I have been occupied in investment banking, such as IBD department and debt financing. And then I switched to corporate finance, such as supply finance, cash management. Then I switched to wealth management, such as private banking. And I launched the blockchain project, which is called Fortuna in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was the general manager of the private banking department of the Chinese National Commercial Bank. Yeah. And so this is the brief introduction about myself.
Sure. And then that's when you got into Fortuna. That's when you formed Fortuna. So, for everyone out there, can you just kind of give us the quick elevator pitch? What exactly is Fortuna?
So, okay, Fortuna is the company's name, and there's a simpler name for Fortuna, which is called FOTA, FOTA. And what we basically focus is derivative market. So we just focus on derivative market. And what we basically do, what we want to provide is two things. We want to provide professional and cool derivative tools for the blockchain world, especially for the crypto token market. And then the second part, we want to provide a complete blockchain technical solution for the financial institutions and then the financial individual investors to invest in traditional financial derivative markets without credit risk and low operational efficiency problems. Yeah, this is what we basically do. Yeah.
Sure. So for everybody out there, because we have a lot of different viewers on the channel, not everybody exactly knows what that is. So can you just kind of give a brief explanation of what exactly is the global OTC derivatives market for those who don't know at all what it might be?
Okay. Let's get started with the easy parts, the first parts. Just provide a cool tools like options, like futures for the crypto market. It's just like BMax. You know BMax, right? BMax, OKEX.
Yes.
They are providing providing the futures exchange. So what we basically do is similar to them. We want to provide futures and options and other derivatives linked to the crypto tokens for people to trade. And why we want to do this? Because we trust the derivatives is very necessary for the crypto token markets go to become major. Any financial market want to be major. The derivative market is a necessary infrastructure for them for two reasons. The first reason is for the individual investors, they need derivatives to do what? The first good thing about derivatives for the individual investor is the leverage is free. if you want to buy something like Bitcoin with leverage, the leverage costs you some money, right? But if you trading in derivatives like futures contracts or options contracts, you have the leverage, but you didn't pay for the leverage. So it's free leverage. This is the first advantage for derivatives compared with the leverage in the BTC trading. Yeah. The second thing is you can do bi-directional investing, right? This is very simple to understand. You can long it or you can short it, right? And then the third thing is you can invest in something, different with the underlying assets, such as the volatility of the Bitcoin. You don't know the Bitcoin will go up or go down. You don't know. But what you know is the volatility of the Bitcoin will be lower because it will be more and more mature. And if you have this prejudgment, can you earn money? Yeah, you can earn money from the derivatives, focus on the volatility of some Bitcoin or Ethereum. Yeah. And the fourth thing is you can do some hedging, like you have some Bitcoin or Ethereum, and for some reason you cannot sell the Bitcoin. You cannot sell the Ethereum, but you are afraid of the price going down and to cause you a lot of loss, right? So what you can do is to do a hedging in derivative markets. You sacrifice the profits of the price going up, yeah, but you can avoid the loss of the price going down. So this is basically the function of derivatives for the individual investors. And for the professional investors, for the institutional investors, derivatives is much more important because they do investments in crypto markets with strategy. All of the strategies, especially for the quantitative strategy, the foundation of the strategies is derivatives. So people need derivatives as tools to publish different strategies. Without professional investment strategy, especially the quantitative strategy, professional institutional investor is no difference with the individual investor. So this is not right. So we want to provide an infrastructure for the whole crypto token world. So this is the first part, and the people are very easy to understand. Okay, and a question? Then if no question, I will go to the second part.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if anybody watching the live stream right now has any questions immediately, feel free to drop them as well as we go. I think for kind of what you're saying, what it reminds me of mostly is like futures. That's what I'm kind of thinking of. You're almost, people kind of make this example with like a farmer, right? And he has certain goods, or let's say like wheat, right? And he doesn't know what the price of the wheat is going to be next year. And then you have guys maybe coming in from Kellogg's, they need the wheat or whatever to make the cereal, whatever it is. So inevitably, it is a zero-sum game. Somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose, but they're just hedging in the center to kind of come to an agreement so that they know what to expect moving forward, essentially, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And and let's talk about a little bit about our team. Yeah. Because the futures and the options trading application, the FOTA, our name, FOTA, FOTA. So we are going to publish the FOTA trading application in September. And the address of the FOTA is www.fota.com. And the meaning of the FOTA is, FOTA, which means futures options trading application.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
This is the meaning of the FOTA.
That's cool.
So FOTA.com. So we are going to publish a very, very professional exchange for the derivatives of crypto tokens trading. And the advantage of our team is we are quite professional. If you want to publish an exchange, in the traditional financial exchange, there are multi-layers. The first layer is clearing house. So they do the clearing of all margin accounts and the derivative contracts. The second layer is exchange, such as CME, Nasdaq, NYSE, the exchange thing. Yeah. And the third layer is security companies, such as broker. The fourth layer is customers. So there are waterfall structure to eliminate the counterparty risk.
Right.
If people don't pay the money, the security company pay the money. If the security company don't pay the money, the exchange pay the money. If the exchange don't pay the money, the clearing house pay the money. So there are a waterfall, security system in this. And
So,
yeah.
no, so who exactly is your primary user base? Who are you targeting specifically? The average everyday user, the big time who is your primary audience for this?
Two things. The first customer base is institutional investors and individual investors in crypto token world. The second customer base is all of the exchanges, because our advantage is to do the clearing house part. If people want to build an exchange, in the crypto world, there are no layers. Clearing house, exchange, security company, all of the things in one. Binance or BMax, all of the things in one exchange. They do all of the part, but this is not good. This is not good for professional things or for risk management. So we are quite professional in the clearing part, so which can eliminate the counterparty risk and not bring the loss to the people. The current stage like OKEX, how they can control the counterparty risk. They control the counterparty risk is if people don't pay the money, the winners pay the money. The winners on the platform pay the money. This is not good. This is not right. So we wanna correct this thing. And our team is come from the OCC, the Option Clearing Corporation in America, in United States. The Option Clearing Corporation is based in Chicago, and it is unique corporation for all of the stock related options clearing for the Nasdaq, CME, NYSE, and our co-founder ZT, he graduated from Yale University, and he graduated from Chicago University of Chicago, majored in computer science and mathematical finance, and he has worked in Chicago for 15 years, and he has worked in OCC and take charge of the quantitative risk management department of OCC. So he's quite professional in the clearing parts of all kinds of derivative tools. And the second partner of our team is Zhu Wei. Wei Zhu, sorry, last name is Zhu. Wei Zhu, and he graduated from Rice University, earned his PhD degree in mathematics, and after the PhD degree, he entered to the Wall Street, and before he entered to Fortuna, he's the director of derivative department of Credit Suisse, the headquarters of Credit Suisse at Wall Street. Yeah. So he's quite professional at the derivative trading and the derivative quantitative risk management parts. So we are quite very, very professional in the financial area. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually have to agree with you. That was one of the reasons why I definitely was interested in speaking with you guys, was how impressive your team was. I mean, I remember back in, I think it was like January, before you guys even had your ICO, you already had 20 plus members on the team. Jason Tao, he's Microsoft, Alibaba. Tony, your director of technology, he's worked with Huawei, Nokia, Alibaba as well. So you guys are definitely well stacked to take this on. I have no qualm with your team members. I definitely know you guys are ready to do that.
So currently we have 68 persons in full time.
60.
68.
68. Wow. So you've almost tripled in size since the last time.
And all of the members are full time. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. So getting back on the I know we're going all over the place today, but I have a few things I wanted to ask you specifically. I mean, what were some of the problems that you saw in the traditional models that inspired you to create Fortuna? What did you want to solve? And why did you choose blockchain in the first place? Why do you think that what you're doing is a better alternative?
Okay, so let's switch to the second part.
Sure.
So we want to use the blockchain technical solution to help people to control the credit risk. and to improve the operational efficiency in the OTC financial derivative market. So, regardless of the crypto token market, so the derivative is basically for the financial era. It's kind of like options, futures, forwards, swaps linked to different underlying assets such as stocks, debts, currencies, market indexes, commodities, something like this, right? So this is the traditional conception of the derivatives. Mm-hmm. And there are two ways for people to buy it. The function of derivatives is similar. So I will not repeat the function of the derivatives. So if you want to buy or trade derivatives, there are two channels around the world for you. The first channel is the exchange, the derivative exchange. The most famous exchange is called CME, right?
Yeah.
Chicago Merchandise Group, right?
We're familiar.
This is the most famous, yeah, the CME. Yeah. So you go to CME, you buy or trade some derivatives. The advantage of the exchange market is I already told you that there are waterfall structure to control the counterparty risk. And other than this, there are very, very sound margin account system. So we trade with each other in CME. It's not necessary for me to know who you are, because what do I trust? I trust in CME and I trust in the margin account system. If you don't have the money, they will margin call you, and you should put some margin money into it. If you don't put more money into it, it will blow up, and it will clear the contracts, and I earn the money. So this is basically what they do in a simple way, right? So the advantage for them is they can control the credit risk very, very good, and they can, the operational efficiency in the exchange is very, very high. But the key problems of the exchange market is they don't have enough derivative tools, especially all of the derivative tools are not personalized, are standardized, which means you cannot change anything about the contracts. For example, in China, there are 4 exchanges of derivatives, which is one is based in Beijing, one is based in Dalian, one is based in Zhengzhou, and 2 of them is based in Shanghai. So all of these 4 exchanges, the total number of the derivatives types are 48. Okay. There are only 48 types of derivatives. If you want to trade something other than this, there's no way to satisfy you. For example, before 2017, there's no crude oil futures contract in China. So people cannot trade crude oil derivative contracts. These problems also happens in different markets, such as United States or European derivative markets. And more than this, because the contracts are standardized, if you want to, long it in 2 months, there's no way, because there are only 1 month contract or 3 months contracts. There are no 2 months contracts. So which means you cannot change the deal structure. You cannot change the duration of the contract. You cannot change the underlying assets of the contract. You cannot change anything. You cannot make it personalized for you to do leverage investments or to do very, very precise hedging. You cannot do all of these.
Can we, okay, go ahead. I was just going to say, I wanted to talk about Fortuna itself, though. I want to talk about how we can utilize some of these key features that you have in the platform. But if you have more to talk about, you can continue. I wanted to hear about how you implement it, but we can keep going.
Yeah. But what we are talking about is the exchange market.
Yeah.
And there are another market which is called over-the-counter markets for the derivative market. So this market is much bigger than the exchange market. The reason is they provide personalized contracts. So theoretically, if there is a counterparty want to trade with you in different directions, you guys can trade in any kinds of derivatives. In any kinds of derivatives, I mean any kinds of underlying assets, any kinds of deal structures, any kinds of durations. You can trade any types of derivatives if you want, and if there's a counterparty want to trade with you in different direction. Okay. So this is the reason why the OTC derivative market is such a big market. In 2016, according to the annual reports of BIS, the notional principle of the OTC financial derivative markets is over, 46.8 trillion US dollars. Oh, no, sorry. It's 468 trillion US dollars.
That's a lot.
Yeah, this is a very lot.
That's
the
almost,
GDP of the United States is just, 20
yeah.
trillion.
Yeah, that's almost like I can't even comprehend that actually. That's so large. So
Yeah, and in 2017, the notional principle is 542.5 trillion US dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so so on your platform right now, you're going to deal with all types of OTC derivatives? You're going to be stuck to crypto, or you're going to do everything? What do you?
Sorry, just to interrupt, I didn't start with the Fortuna things in these markets. So there are two markets, right?
Yes.
Exchange market and OTC market, and different advantage. So what Fortuna to do is we provide a solution for you to have the two advantage of the two markets, and you can avoid of the two disadvantage of these two markets. The disadvantage of OTC derivative market is the counterparty risk, because it's a peer-to-peer trading network, right? You cannot control the credit risk. You cannot control the counterparty risk, right? You cannot avoid people to vote in the final because there's no margin accounts. Your money stay in your bank account. My money stay in my bank account. We just sign a paper contract, and the contract matures. You can default. You can fault, and you can not pay the money. You are not if you're not good people, right? So these are the two problems of the two market. One is they cannot provide personalized contracts, and one is they cannot control the credit risk. What if we can provide a blockchain platform for people to create their own personalized derivative contracts without, the harm of the credit risk, the harm of the counterparty risk, so this is what Fortuna want to do. Fortuna is provide a blockchain platform with structured smart contract tools for people to create their own derivative contracts easily. So our structured smart contract is three layers. The first layer is settle. It's just like a contract like unify or NST, like something. And then the second is the contract template, which is created by us and by other professional institutions or professional investors. They will create very, very professional smart contract template. And the third layer is for people. And if you want to trade something, you want to trade a derivative market, go to Fortuna and you choose a contract template. And you choose an underlying assets like Google stock, right? And you choose a duration. I want to long it in 3 months, right? And that's done. The smart contract already finished. And you broadcast the smart contract to the whole network on the blockchain. And if people match you, the smart contract, signed automatically. And you guys put your crypto tokens into the smart contracts without third-party custodians. And after the maturity of the smart contract, it will be cleared automatically. So all of the parts, the operational efficiency is very, very high, and there is no counterparty risk, and there's no agency costs. Agency costs in China for these parts is how much? 6% or 7%. they will charge you to do these things. They will create the contract templates for you, design the product, and they will find a counterparty for you in their customer base. All of these services charge you 6 or 7%, and which is ridiculous high in financial markets. So we wanna kill these parts. We wanna kill this profitable parts. Offer some free tools for people to trade in OTC derivative markets without the problems of low operational efficiency and the counterparty risk.
Yeah, and without having to have the knowledge of knowing how to make and create smart contracts, right? You guys are obviously going to make it simple for the average day, everyday person.
Very, very simple. Yeah.
Good, because you have to. That's the whole key. Nobody wants to learn another language to use a tool. So why don't we talk about some of the things that you guys got going on? Let's talk about some of the advantages of your platform. The first thing that kind of stuck out to me, I know everybody's interested in, for example, the consensus, right? So you guys are using a DPOSA, which I assume it's a type of delegated proof of stake. But how is your hybrid version a little bit different, and why do you choose this approach?
Yeah, DPOSA is add one dimension, which is trading activities.
Okay.
So we want somebody have influence on the network, not only because somebody has the wealth, but also somebody really use this network, right? So we want to build this network not for dApps. We are building this network for derivative trading. So if you are a trader and you are, you kind of rely on this platform, trade a lot of derivatives. Even if you don't have so much FOTA, we want you have the influence of the network because you are the real user of this network, right?
That's awesome.
So this is the meaning of the DPOSA consensus. So we want to add the two things. One, economy part, because you have the wealth connected with the platform, you have the power, you have the influence on the network. And then the second part is if you are a user, especially you are a deep user of this network, so if you have the influence of the network. So these two powers combined our DPOSA consensus.
So essentially you're rewarded on your using and contribution rather than I have the most amount of FOTA. You know what I mean? It's like, so you're protecting everyone against the big whales. You're helping out the smaller guys and rewarding those that are actually actively using the platform. That's really, really awesome. The second key point that I wanted you also to point out is you have your PRCs and your PUCs, which in layman's terms are private contracts and public contracts. Do you want to kind of go into this a little bit?
Yeah, PRC mode is just peer-to-peer modes. It's just like KW, you want to trade something, and you choose a contract template and create your own derivative contract, and you broadcast. And I find this contract, and I trade with you. This is PRC without any cost of agents. But you need to pay a little bit fee for the operation of the whole network, right? But this fee is very, very low. It's basically nothing. Yeah. But the second thing is PUC, which is public contract means. So which is like we want to absorb some professional financial institutions into this network to issue their own derivatives, such like options. The financial institutions want to issue Google stock options or commodity stock or commodity options for people to buy, right? The long option or the short option, right? So we want to become a marketplace for people to open their own stores of derivatives in this marketplace. So this kind of a trading mode is called PUC. They kind of are the market maker, and they provide their own products for people to trade, and they can earn the money from their contract templates. This is the PUC mode. Yeah.
All right, cool, thanks. And then one more clarification, and then we can move on. The third thing that really stood out, you kind of talked about it a little bit before. You were talking about your decentralized quoting mechanisms. I think it was the SVD and the QC, the quote scheme. Do you want to just kind of explain to everybody what that is and how that works?
Okay, it's a very simple question. It's a harsh question because it's kind of complicated.
I mean, we could just take
We want to.
you could just simplify it. We don't have to go to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. The decentralized quote scheme is just for the purpose of avoid the market price manipulation.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the disaster of OKEX. There's a disaster of OKEX actually because people said they manipulate
Yeah,
the price.
I've heard of stuff like that. I mean, you
Yeah,
never really, but when they own it, they can do whatever they want with the volume. I mean, so they
yeah,
get trade it
because
back and forth to themselves. I mean,
because the clearing of the derivative contract depends on the price at the maturation date of the underlying assets, right? Like Bitcoin futures contract, relies on the price of the Bitcoin, right?
uh-huh.
OKEX choose the price of Bitcoin on the OKEX. So which means they can manipulate the price of the Bitcoin very easily for the clearing of the derivative contract, right?
Right.
So what we basically do is we want to provide a decentralized scheme for people to know that we or nobody can control the price of the underlying assets.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody can control the clearing of the direct contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
This
Yeah.
is the meaning of the decentralized quote scheme. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, those were the three key topics that you guys pretty much point out in your white paper and on your website. So I thought that would be really important to talk about. On the side note, though, I do remember you guys were saying a while ago you were still searching for a reliable data vendor. Did you guys find one yet, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Actually, a lot of the prediction market project, right?
Yeah, I understand it somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah, prediction market is kind of like they want to do something prediction in the games like the World Cup, right? In the insurance and in the financial derivatives. But the key problems is they cannot find a very very professional and licensed data vendor because there are no data vendor in something like the games or in something like the weather, right? But there are a lot of licensed data vendor in financial market. Not only in the commodities area, but also in the stocks area, debt area. All of the financial areas has professional and licensed data vendor. So this is a very, very important part for us to do this. And this infrastructure is already mature.
Mm-hmm.
We don't only we need is just connect their API and maybe pay a little bit of the money, and then we can solve all of the things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brian, so Jessica from the chat, she brings up a point. She says, do you think that the OTC industry is going to push back against you, or do you think that they'll be willing to absorb your model? Do you think that there's going to be some resistance from the pre-existing OTC industry?
No, actually, because we just several months ago we attended the APEC summit in the Australian,
Mm-hmm.
and their very high level director, Matt Crackford. Oh, sorry, I didn't remember his name.
That's
Exactly.
okay.
But he
It's
told us
it's
that,
early in the morning where you are. It's late where we are, so we get it.
yeah. So what Fortuna basically do is, he told us that Fortuna basically do is the thing that the Australian government want to do for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
but they cannot do it. And the blockchain technical solution of Fortuna let them see the hope. The government and the traders and the players in this market, they want to control the credit risk.
Mm-hmm.
They want to improve the low operational efficiency. And also they want to improve the supervision modes, become more transparent And all of these elements can be achieved. All of these goals can be achieved through blockchain tech. So this is really cool for government, for financial, institutional investors, for financial individual investors to win, win, win.
Right. So you're not. I mean, on a side note, you're not worried about legal issues or compliances. You're confident that everything's good.
OTC derivative markets, I'm quite confident.
Cool.
And this is FOTA.io, right? FOTA.io. But the first part, FOTA.com, we need a license, and we are applying for the license for publish or centralized exchange for crypto tokens, derivative exchange. Yeah. So this is two parts. Yeah.
Sure. And then somebody else asked this before in the chat, but I didn't want to cut you off because this was a while back. They were curious about what's the function of the FOTA token in the ecosystem. I know you mentioned something about how it'll help with liquidity, essentially.
Yeah.
So just basically for the chat, what's the function of the token?
So this is about our vision, about our strategy of the Fortuna. We don't want a Fortuna become a 1 year or 2 year project. We want a Fortuna become 5 year, 10-year project. More than 10 years. We want to be a long life project. So that's why we don't invest in any of the ICO projects with our money. Our money is only focused on building Fortuna. And that's why we don't do any secondary market investings as well. We want to save our money on the Fortuna. And the basically strategy of Fortuna, I can conclude it's kind of like 3-layer rocket. The first layer rocket is FOTA.com, which is a centralized derivative exchange for crypto token market, right? I already explained. And why we want to do this thing at the first layer, because we want to be we want to have a sustainable profit. We don't want to burn the money at the last, and the whole project becomes zero. We want to become a sustainable project. So this why we want to do the first thing is centralized platform, centralized exchange for derivatives of crypto tokens, because it can provide sustainable profits. And the experience of the crypto token derivatives can also help us to build the second layer part, which is Fortuna, right?
Yes.
Which is Fortuna. For the OTC traditional financial derivatives markets, we want to provide a complete blockchain technical system. So this is the second part. We want to provide a truly valuable dApp in the truly financial markets to help people save money and save time. So this is the second layer. And the third layer is, we are built on our own public chain, right? We are not built on Ethereum or Qtum or Neo or something else. We are built on our own public chain.
Well, just to clarify right now, you currently are ERC20, but you're building your mainnet, right?
ERC20 is just a token.
Yeah, but
actually our test version of mainnet is already published in last week.
Oh, okay. All right. So the testnet is up and running.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into a little bit? What's the whole Black Friday thing that you have right now?
Black Friday thing is just a test version for the FOTA.com.
Okay. But that's
it's
something
a centralized platform. And the test version of Fortuna is already published.
Okay, cool. So just for everyone out there that's watching, you can actually test this right now. You can go to the website. You can sign up.
Yeah. Right. But you are not using the real FOTA to test it.
Right.
If you want to test the testnet, you use the fake FOTA, and you can claim the fake FOTA from our communities. Yeah.
Exactly. So just kind of down the pipeline, for the roadmap, when can we expect the actual mainnet? Roughly.
The actual mainnet, because we kind of like switch the roadmap. We kind of like change the roadmap a little bit, because the test version of the mainnet is published in the Q3, but we publish in Q2. We move faster
Yeah.
We move faster, and we want to publish the centralized version of the FOTA.com for the derivative market in September. So which means we will publish our mainnet after September. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So as we begin to
Yeah.
move forward too, what is your plan? I mean, this could fall under marketing or whatever, but how do you really plan on onboarding all of these users that are already, because people are comfortable, they already use what they're using. It's difficult to get these people to switch that are already comfortable using their traditional platforms. So what are your key selling points? How do you plan on really getting users to adopt your platform?
Yeah. The first thing is is the design of our products.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different with these two things, with the BMAX or OKEX. But I cannot publish currently because we published the product in September, so we cannot get the details too much. And then the second part is we want to. A second part is we believe the derivative market is an emerging market. You know what I mean. So, according to the experience of all kinds of financial market, all of the derivative markets is much bigger than the underlying asset market. The crypto token market is kind of like currently it's 0.5 trillion US dollars, right? 0.5 trillion US dollars. It's kind of like 400 billion US dollars.
I don't even think it's that high. not at the rate this market's been going lately.
Yeah, around this amount, but the crypto token derivative market is much smaller than this. This is not right. According to the experience, this market will be much larger than underlying assets, which means they will be much larger than the 400 billion US dollars market. So this market is currently, from my view, this market in 2018, it's a blue ocean market.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people, not the older users of the BMAX, the OKEX, a lot of the new users, from the underlying assets traders to the derivative traders, from the traditional financial derivatives traders to the crypto token derivative traders. There are two parts, new guys. So what we want to focus is these two-part new guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I agree with you on the whole blue ocean analogy. It is fresh. It's not to the point where it's overcrowded. You know what I mean? It still is very early. And there are still a lot of opportunities as well. And I do like that what you're focusing on in particular. Even what you said going back to, I'm kind of letting you talk. I know you have so much energy and passion, but just some of the things that you said previously, even about how with the FOTA token, the utility, how you don't care about investing into these other types of ICOs, you don't care about the DApps or anything like that. You're just focused on the FOTA.com, the Fortuna, and moving forward with that as well. So kind of on the flip side, though, because there's always two sides to every coin, if you had to, right now, what do you think is the biggest obstacle for you guys? What's the toughest thing you've had to deal with so far?
The first obstacle for the FOTA.com is the compliance, right? This is the huge obstacle for us. If we want to, if we want to, develop a different market, we need different license in different market.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a very obstacle. It requires a lot of money, requires a lot of time, requires a lot of resources, and we are working on this. Yeah, and then the second obstacle is you cannot imagine that the clearing scheme and the clearing system of a derivative exchange is a very, very big engineer. There are more than 200 people in CME, and there are more than 1,000 people in OCC just for this part. And so what we are lucky is the more than 40% of the codes of the quantitative risk of the quant library of OCC is developed by ZT, our partner. And in his brain, there are a lot of codes already. So we build this thing easy part. They build these things more than 2 years or three years, and we want to build this platform in a quarter. So this is a very, very big obstacle for us to provide a good user experience and a justice platform for people to trade crypto token derivatives. Yeah.
I can imagine that that is a massive obstacle to tackle, especially considering with each individual jurisdiction, region, they all have their own specific, regulations, et cetera, how you got to go about it. So, I mean, we spoke a lot about everything. I really do appreciate it. I think we've been going for about 45 minutes right now. So just kind of, what can we expect moving forward? I guess if I can kind of ask you, I ask everybody this, what is your grand vision? You were talking 5 years, 10 years, right? Where do you see Fortuna, FOTA, all of this? Where do you see this whole thing, 5 to 10 years from now, in your opinion?
Okay. Let's continue with this three-layer rocket strategy. The first is FOTA.com, which is the centralized exchange for crypto token derivative tradings. The second layer is FOTA.io, which is a dApp on our public chain for OTC financial derivative market, right? So for the next 2 years or 3 years, the only focus is derivatives. And then the first step is we want to, get the sustainable profits from the FOTA.com. Yeah, then we will build a truly valuable dApp, financial dApp in the real world to provide some real value for the financial investors. Then we will, come to the third layer to build our public chain very well, just for the financial era. We want to build a financial public chain in the world. Yeah, we want to build a distributed commercial banking, mutual insurance, and securitization on the blockchain trust, something like this. But this is the third thing. This is the grand vision in the long future. And also this blockchain also focus on the finance, nothing else, just the finance. We want to just build a financial dApps because financial dApps has synergy. People, if you have the requirements of the commercial banking service, maybe you have the requirements of the insurance service demand, right? So the financial dApps has synergy. And just for the finance, our public chain can, do some trade-offs in our parameter settings, in our development strategies. Yeah.
I love I love the laser vision, by the way. You're just so, you know what you want and you have it so clear. That's really awesome. So
yeah. These are this is what we exactly think the same thing. We want to become a laser, a razor becomes a very, 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 very razor to, shot something.
Yeah, no, I mean, my dad, he always used to use this example of, putting the horse blinders on. The horse wins the race when he just looks straight. You don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing. So I think that's really cool. And I wanted to touch one more thing before we go. Just before we went live, you were telling me about you had what was a partnership? There was something with a university. Yeah, could you just tell us about that? Because it sounded really interesting.
Because our team currently are based on Singapore and Hangzhou.
Yes.
I don't know if people are familiar with Hangzhou or not. Hangzhou is a very famous city in China, and it's a headquarter of Alibaba. It's the headquarter of Alibaba, and it's just next to Shanghai, very, very clear. And currently, people call Hangzhou the headquarter of blockchain in China.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, because of two things. One is in Hangzhou, there's a very famous university which ranked in the third place in China, which is called Zhejiang University. The second thing is there's a huge company which is called Alibaba in Hangzhou, right? And these two companies, one university and one big company, they are focusing on blockchain for the current stage. And we just partnership with the Zhejiang University, and we launched a blockchain research center officially in last month, and which is a great news for us to to do some research about the technology in blockchain areas. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. That's really great. I just wanted you to share that with everybody because I was pretty excited for you guys as well. So that's really
Yeah, and I can tell you a little bit of story in Hangzhou. There are three mafia in Hangzhou.
like mafias, like gangsters and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah, mafia in Hangzhou.
oh,
For
okay,
the entrepreneur, I mean,
mm-hmm.
the internet entrepreneur. There
Yep,
are three mafia.
okay,
The first mafia is Zhejiang University mafia. A lot of people graduate from Zhejiang University, build some very big internet companies in China, and they are all founded in Hangzhou. This is one mafia. The second mafia is Alibaba mafia. A lot of people, a lot of ex-workers of Alibaba founded a lot of the great companies in Hangzhou and all around the world. And the third mafia is, the overseas people, just like us, graduated from Yale University, Stanford University, Berkeley University, and came back to China to find their careers. And you know what? Fortuna is the co-member of these three mafia, because we have the research center with Zhejiang University, right? And half of our team graduate from the overseas universities such as the Yale University. So basically, we are overseas mafia, right? And two of our co-founders, Jason and Tony, they are ex-workers at Alibaba. So we are co-members of these three mafias.
So you guys are like the Avengers of the OTC derivatives market. I love it. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Brian, is there anything you'd like to kind of leave the chat with before we go? Anything you want to say before we end the interview today? I had a really great time speaking with you. This is my first live stream I've ever done with a project, so I really appreciate it. Is there anything you kind of want to say before we go?
Sure. I can say something about my face, because I have been occupied in all kinds of financial industry, right? Private banking, investment banking, corporate finance. I have been occupied and connected to different financial industry, and I know how they earn money.
Yeah.
They earn money by three parts. The first part is intermediary part. People don't know each other. They provide intermediary agency service, and they charge for it. Second part, they provide, guarantee service. People don't trust in each others. They guarantee you will not be afraid of the compound risk. They charge for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third part, they charge for the professional services. Like, I'm professional in ICO investments. You give your money to me, right? I help you to do the investments, and I share the profit with you, like 80 versus 20%, right?
Mm-hmm.
From our view, the financial industry or the financial institutions should earn the profits from the third part, not the first part and the second part.
Right.
The internet eliminate the profitable space in the first part, and the blockchain will eliminate the second part of the financial industry. So this is our phase. We wanna kill this huge profitable space in the intermediary agents and guarantee agents parts. All of the financial industry people should earn the money from your professional skills, not your guarantee or your intermediary agent part. This is not right thing. So this is our slogan: make the world more transparent. This is the meaning. Yeah.
I love it, Brian. I love it. And honestly, that has to be one of the coolest final statements I've heard on my channel in a while. I really love what you guys stand for. I have to admit, for me, I'm not like really too into this particular world when it comes to derivatives and things of that nature, but I understand that it's huge, it's massive, and I really appreciate your vision and what you guys are doing for the space. So thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate you coming on the channel today.
Thank you, K-Dub. Thank you, all of the guys.
Absolutely. I think we really appreciate it today. And thank you for everyone that came into the chat today. Your questions were really great, and I appreciate the opportunity to have you on. So, Brian, that being said, my name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And
Cool.
and peace out. All right, guys. Thank you so much.